Good evening and welcome. My name is Richard Kind, and I am with you tonight to host the second, and let's hope the last, virtual broadcast of the Israel Cancer Research Fund Ribbons of Hope Gala. It's too soon, of course, to gather in person because of the pandemic and the rising variants, but let's hope that we love tonight, that we repeat last year's success and festivities. And I can tell you already, this event is a success because we've had magnificent donations and we hope to get more. On the flip side of all of this, we don't have to leave our homes. We can watch this in our pajamas if we want. We don't have to schlep to some ballroom, eat rubber chicken and overcooked vegetables. And if some of these speeches go on too long, you can still pour yourself a drink and turn down the volume, maybe watch an episode of Stitzel. What we do promise to bring you tonight is everything that accounts for the amazing work of the Israel Cancer Research Fund, and the knowledge that by joining us tonight, you are bringing support to the best and the brightest scientists that are conducting groundbreaking cancer research in Israel. Now, it is my job as host to start this off with a bit of fun, a joke or two, and usually when I do this, which I've done many times live, I get to ride the laughs. I get to hear what's going on, and I can't hear anything from you people. So, if you will forgive me, I'm going to tell two jokes in memory of my father, because these are jokes that my father would love. They sound like they're dirty. I promise you they are not dirty, but they're funny. So, number one. This mother is making her teenage son's bed, and she's tucking in the sheets and everything, and she reaches in and she pulls out a magazine of bondage and whips and handcuffs. She goes, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And she goes downstairs. The husband comes home. She goes, honey, look what I found under Timmy's bed. The husband goes, oh my gosh. She goes, what are we going to do? And he goes, well, we're certainly not going to spank him. Okay, that was joke number one. Joke number two. Mrs. Goldstein gets up in front of the congregation. She says, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, my husband, Bernie, he had a terrible car accident. And he damaged his scrotum so terribly. He's in such pain. And I want to thank you all for all you've done, because Bernie, whenever he would walk, you would hear him groan in agony, and all the men are going, oh my gosh, oh no. She goes, whenever he would come and hug me, we would hug, and he would scream with such pain because his scrotum hurt so much. We would take a car ride. We'd hit a bump, and his scrotum, so terribly damaged, was... Well, you would see the tears run down his eyes with pain. And I want to thank you so much for your concern these past few weeks. And now Bernie would like to say a few words. Bernie hobbles up and he goes, it's true. You've all been such wonderful friends. The baskets, the emails, the flowers. I totally felt your concern. And to my beautiful wife, who I love so dearly, the word is sternum. And those were my dad jokes. I hope you enjoyed them. We are living in such dire times. And science is being forsaken by so many people in our country. And I think one other thing that we have to do is celebrate the science and the scientists that ICRF supports. It is so important. And the goal of ICRF is simple and it's good: to end suffering caused by cancer. And tonight, we're going to talk about suffering. It's going to be hard to hear. But the good news is all the ways that the scientists in Israel have become world leaders in cancer research, and how funding from North America is helping conduct world-class research. Now, you wonder, how did I become involved in all this? Why do I support ICRF? Well, I have news for you. I've been supporting this for over 30, nearly 40 years. In 1985, my Uncle Henry was honored by ICRF, okay? He was given the same award that I'm going to be getting tonight because he was instrumental in organizing the New York chapter of ICRF. My Uncle Henry was a great, great man, a brilliant lawyer, went up against the types of Roy Cohen. He was very well respected in New York. And I do this and I host this tonight in his honor because I'm thinking of him. As a matter of fact, I remember my Uncle Henry. He's a vibrant man, but I was about 8 or 9 years old, and he was my mom's uncle. He was my grandmother's brother. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I was sleeping over at his house. He was my godfather, and he woke up in the morning, and I'm watching him do jumping jacks and toe touches and knee bends. And I thought, well, that's easy. Those are easy things. Anybody can do that. Now, so many years later, every day I think of Uncle Henry because it just hurts so much now that I'm so old. We've got a great program tonight. We're going to be honoring key members from all 4 U.S. chapters of ICRF, and we're going to highlight the amazing work that they've done. We are also going to hear from some of the finest scientists in the world who are working with ICRF, and a few of my friends are going to share a few thoughts and congratulate me because I'll be getting an award. So let's begin. Right here, in the right frame of mind, we have a performance of America the Beautiful. The singer is Isla Schwartz, who was on Broadway as young Elsa in the Broadway production of Frozen, and she will be followed by Ozzie Schwartz, cantor at Park Avenue Synagogue, who will be performing Hatikva. Believe it or not, Isla Schwartz and Ozzie Schwartz are not related. Isla, take it away.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from the sea to shining sea.
Shalom. Hi, everyone. I'm Cantor Ozzie Schwartz of the Park Avenue Synagogue in New York. As an Israeli, I was thrilled to accept the invitation of my dear friend Beryl Chernov to support the incredible work of ICRF. If you're able, please rise for Hatikva.
כל עוד בלבב פנימה, נפש יהודי הומייה, מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה, עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
We at ICRF are so very grateful for every dollar we receive from our generous donors. We take that fiscal stewardship very seriously, and we do everything we can to make sure your dollars get to where they belong, to the best researchers and scientists in Israel. And while it's true that every penny helps get us closer to that goal, there have been some outstanding sponsors that we would like to recognize for going above and beyond. Our science sponsors include Sharon and Neil Brook, Elizabeth and David Copeland and Strategic Wealth Partners, the Feiss, Green, and Hirsch Family Foundation, Leon Myers, William Myers, Cynthia Pearl, the Software National Bank of New York, Limor Katz and Chip Serlin, Bev and David Zadakoff and family. Our strength sponsors are Jackie and Bruce Barron and Origin Ventures, the Denson family and Tiller LLC, the Oved, Pardo, Batesh families, and Five Star Management. Our future sponsors, Earl Abramson and Sheila Schlager, and our hope sponsors, the Kenneth Goodman Family Foundation and Leslie and David Abramson.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried. Now, you got Richard Kind for the Israel Cancer Research Fund, Tower of Hope Award. I mean, how many other people turned you down that you got Richard Kind? I mean, really, what? Was Mark Skippy Price not available? Was the guy that played Mr. Belding and Saved by the Bell, did he ask for too much money?
Congratulations to my dear friend and colleague, Richard Kind, for receiving the ICRF Tower of Hope Award. Wow, Richard. I mean, I knew you were a tower of something, but hope? Well, I guess so. Why not? Congratulations to you, and congratulations to all the honorees and to ICRF for doing such amazing work in cancer research. And yeah, it's all about the research, and keep up the good work.
Now, here to give us a better understanding of the mission of ICRF and the critical importance of your support for that mission is the president of ICRF International, David Abramson, and the national executive director, Beryl Chernov. Gentlemen, take it away.
Richard, thank you. Both Beryl and I are so grateful to gifted entertainers like you and your wonderful friends who give so much of your time and talent to this gala and this cause. Thanks also to our sponsors and participants this evening. We know this virtual thing is a bit of a challenge, but in a way, it brings all of us together in a way our smaller in-person gatherings can't. So we're grateful for this audience tonight as well. It's been a difficult few years for so many. The COVID pandemic ended the lives of more than 600,000 Americans to date. But think about this. That's the same number of people who passed away from cancer in just the last 12 months in the United States alone. We have a vaccine for COVID now, a tribute to all that science can do for humanity to stop the spread of disease. But we don't have that kind of quick success in the longer and more difficult battle with cancer. In addition, COVID fears kept people away from the doctor in this past year, which allowed many cancer diagnoses to come later than they normally would. So our mission is more critical than ever. Beryl?
David, thank you. The fact that to date, ICRF has awarded more than $78 million in funding for over 2,500 grants to hundreds of Israeli scientists to conduct their research is why all of us at ICRF come to work every day. To make sure this life-saving work continues to bring us closer to the day when cancer may be managed safely and successfully, and yes, cured. Tonight, we're going to learn of the dedication and commitment of so many members of the ICRF family, chapter members who go above and beyond to make sure we can fund the breakthroughs that we celebrate tonight. ICRF-funded scientists have been instrumental in the development of breakthrough FDA-approved cancer drugs and include the first 2 Israeli Nobel Prize laureates in chemistry. And we remain at the forefront of important cancer discoveries in nanomedicine, immunotherapy, stem cell research, and targeted therapies.
Again, thank you from all of us tonight to the fantastic Richard Kind and his great community of entertainers and generous friends. COVID hurt so many fundraising organizations this past year, but with the kind of turnout and support we're enjoying tonight, we know our mission will continue to thrive. We urge all of you to donate as robustly as you possibly can. This is ICRF's signature event, and to be candid, financial success tonight is critical to our mission.
We have several ways to donate tonight, so please hit that button on your screen or text Ribbons of Hope, all one word, to 41444. We thank you so much in advance. One of ICRF's great friends in the New York area is Joseph Shammy, a generous supporter of the mission, and unfortunately, someone who has learned all too well the toll of a cancer diagnosis and the need to improve the treatments available. We would now like you to meet Joseph.
Cancer affects almost all of us, whether it be directly or indirectly through a loved one that's suffering from it. We are so close to finding cures for the various cancers that are out there. I hope that my helping the ICRF today will help them have the funds and the means to find a cure. Let's all support the ICRF and other institutions that are helping people suffering from cancer. If you are an individual who's going through a tough time, I implore you to take in the love that's around you, your family, your friends, your community members. That support is so valuable. It is part of the cure. It's part of the most important medicine out there. And if you are an individual who has a friend who needs help, run to be there. You'll be saving them, and you'll be doing something that's one of the most rewarding acts that you will ever do in your life. How lucky are we? How fortunate and blessed are we that we're part of this greater Jewish community where everyone cares about each other, like they're your own family member.
Hi, I'm Jason Alexander, and I am delighted to be able to congratulate my friend Richard Kind on his Tower of Hope Award from the Israel Cancer Research Fund. You know, it seems a year or two ago, I also was winning an award from ICRF, and knowing that Richard is following in my footsteps and receiving the kind of acknowledgement he should be getting leads me to believe they'll give this award to just about anybody. The criteria seems to be you must be Jewish or know a Jewish person, you must be recognizable by someone outside your immediate family, and you must have room in your home to actually place the award. Well, Richard is certainly Jewish, I think, pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And he is recognizable around the world. Not so much by name, but certainly his face. And, well, If I could find room in my home among the Tony, the Emmy, the various Screen Actors Guild Awards and other philanthropic awards, I'm pretty sure Richard has a place on the mantle for this too. But seriously, Richard, congratulations on this wonderful award. You know, everybody, kind is not just Richard's last name. That is what my buddy is. Kind, generous, always there when you need him, bringing people laughter and joy, and yes, hope around the world. So congratulations, Rich, and congratulations to the Israel Cancer Research Fund. Keep doing the great work that you do, and both of you, keep hope alive.
Hi, I'm Jeff Garland, comedian of some notoriety, and this is Peter Lee Thomas. He is a great mixed martial artist, boxing fighter guy. He's training me to fight Richard Kind.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what we want to announce it here today. I'm going to be boxing Richard Kind, who the Israeli Cancer Research Foundation will benefit all the money that we get from pay-per-view of me beating the out of Richard Kind. He is your Tower of Hope award winner this year.
Speaking of the humanity behind ICRF, we're going to meet some doctors. The first one is Dr. Jacob Hanna. It is hard to imagine what these doctors do on a daily basis. It seems like science fiction. Right now, it's science fact. I'm going to read to you what they've told me Dr. Hanna is involved in. He is a medical doctor who conducts interdisciplinary research in the properties of embryonic stem cells and iPS. Those are the adult cells that are induced behavior to behave like embryonic cells. His research offers great promise in transplantation therapy, cancer treatment, infertility, and tissue regeneration. I was told in English what all of that means. He was able to build a mouse embryo outside of the mouse's womb, meaning that the next step is maybe you can create a liver outside of the human body so that it may be input and a replacement liver. Who knows what kind of organ transplants or cell transplants may be involved in Dr. Hanna's research. Recently, they have renewed a 7-year grant with ICRF to promote his studies. He was written about recently in the New York Times, if you want to look it up and Google that. A brilliant man. Dr. Hanna, please, the floor is yours.
My lab has been carrying out research for the last 10 years in the field of stem cell biology. And our goal is to develop methods to turn patient-specific skin cells back into stem cells and then differentiate them into organs that can be used for transplantation. And this type of research is important for many types of diseases, including for cancer, because in many cases we need to replace the damaged tissues, or we need to deal with side effects of chemotherapy that cause damages to tissue. And therefore, by having a reliable source of cells that can be transplanted that are genetically identical to the cancer patient, that can be used to replace the damaged tissues or infected tissues, can be very critical for curing cancer. ICRF has been very important and special for me. My lab has been supported for the last 10 years since day one of its establishment. And the fact ICRF has a very special place in my heart. It's the first grant I ever received. And ICRF is very important because it provides many types of programs that are longer term. And having this stability of being supported allows researchers to take on more risky projects, more difficult projects, which I think is very critical. Moreover, the ICRF reputation is very positive, and I think I felt often that as being a recipient of an ICRF award facilitated me to succeed in applying for other grants, because it's has been often looked at as, okay, if ICRF is supporting this lab, maybe we should support it too. And I think this is very helpful for me and for many of my colleagues to carry out our research. Even since I was a PhD student, I remember always ICRF has supported the best and the brightest researchers in Israel, whether it's actually postdoctoral fellowships or whether it's young or full professors. And it's really regardless of the exact field of research or background or institution. And I think that's really speaks for the vision of ICRF, that it also wants to support just focus on excellent science, and even sometimes more risky or unorthodox approaches to look at different niches and not necessarily mainstream. I think that speaks a lot for the vision and for the maturity, basically, of ICRF leadership and board in selecting the recipients. And I think that's also helps the scientists involved interact together and succeed together in doing very important and good science.
This year, the ICRF leadership decided to honor members from each of its 4 chapters in the United States: New York, Connecticut, Chicago, and Los Angeles, with the Ribbon of Hope Award. Now, as you're going to see, each recipient has brought a great amount of spirit, dedication to the mission, helping raise awareness, certainly lending their support, and dare I say, best of all, a lot of cash to ICRF. Each of their stories is unique. So let's start with the furthest east, which is Connecticut. Our first recipient is William Myers. He has served for more than 6 years as a member of the ICRF Connecticut chapter board and remains on the board. And he recently left his 25-year career in equity research. Now, Bill has been a 12-year survivor of glioblastoma, one of the toughest forms of brain cancer. 12 years. Now, let me tell you what the last 12 years has meant to Bill Myers, what he has had to endure. 80 brain MRIs, multiple surgeries, therapies, so much though that he practically has his own parking space at Sloan Kettering. His doctors call him a unicorn. His neuro-oncologist at Sloan Kettering says that he has been practicing for 18 years. And a guy like Bill just doesn't exist. He is a unicorn. He has survived for these past 12 years and lived with this awful, awful cancer. But we call him a unicorn because of his singular energy, his zest for life, and his gifts of humor and love for ICRF and through all that he has endured. Please, here is our 2021 Ribbon of Hope honorees, Bill Myers.
Richard, I want to thank you for the introduction and your commitment and generosity to ICRF. I don't know if you're fully vaccinated, but to be sure, I'm giving you a virtual handshake. I realize we have a lot in common. We're both funny, witty, sometimes sarcastic, and we try to make people laugh. The key difference is that you actually get paid for your humor, and that people outside of your own family think you're funny too. So here's part of my story. So June of 2009 was a great month. My daughter Devora celebrated her bat mitzvah. My son Sam achieved his black belt, and I ran my first half marathon. July was not great. On July 25th, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, a glioblastoma, which is often viewed as a death sentence. I was 41. Life can change in a dime. There were no warning signs. It just happened. When I was diagnosed, my 3 kids, Devara, Sam, and Ben, were young, 12, 10, and 6. I had a choice to cry or laugh. I chose to laugh. I had a choice to ask, why me, or to accept the challenge and fight back. I chose to fight. I realized the laughter really is the best medicine. My wife, Corey, and I tried to make the situation a little bit less scary for the kids. When my hair started falling out on one side, Corey and my kids regularly shaved the other side together, holding onto Corey's hand. I was on heavy steroids and gained 2 neck sizes. Standing bald and built, my boys thought I looked really cool and really tough. I never told them that I actually lost strength. We all had some good laughs together. I was lucky. A few weeks post-surgery, I was able to return to work. I don't know if it was the adrenaline or just the drive to be normal. I never wanted to be the cancer guy. I just wanted to be me. I kept my sense of humor. When I got back to the office, the head of equities asked to catch up. I spoke about my craniotomy and how the surgeons removed half my brain. I said to him, if I had a full brain, I'd be sitting in your seat. We both laughed. So post-surgery, radiation and chemo, I started making goals. My first was to make it to Sam's bar mitzvah 3 years later. Wow. Then to my son Ben's bar mitzvah 4 years later. Incredible. Then something miraculously happened. Last summer, we celebrated Devara's wedding. All of us had tears of joy, wide smiles, and pure happiness. And then the icing on the cake. I will be at Sam's wedding next week. Part of me is still in disbelief. 5 years post-diagnosis, I was experiencing regular seizures. My ability to read, write, and comprehend was deteriorating very rapidly. I've been on long-term disability ever since. I always tried to keep a happy face outside the house, but things aren't always so happy. It's not easy. Only Corey knows what we're really going through. Now, 12 years later, my neuro-oncologist at Sloan Kettering calls me a unicorn. In his 18 years at Sloan Kettering, he has only one other patient that's lived as long as me. I know how lucky I am. Others fought as hard or harder than me. Others were more worthy than me. Others were just better than me. I'm not sure why I'm here, but I don't take it for granted. Cancer actually made me a better person. I was a managing director with a high-pressure job. My career almost became identity. But cancer was my wake-up call, and I wasn't going to waste it. I began to change my priorities. I began to love and appreciate my wife and kids even more. They're my champions. There's a song that I listen to often. It helps me appreciate all that I have. Don't worry, for those of you that know me, I'm not going to sing it. But the words go like this. My best friend gave me the best advice. He said, each day is a gift and not a given right. A gift and not a given right. I first learned about ICRF in 1993, when my 28-year-old cousin, Icrf, tragically passed away, leaving a wife and 6-month-old daughter. His family was involved in ICRF. As a result, I decided to learn about ICRF, and I was amazed with what I'd learned, and then became active myself in this incredible cause. I look at ICRF as a little engine that could. ICRF-sponsored researchers were instrumental in the development of 3 FDA-approval drugs. Again, 3 FDA-approved drugs. Incredibly, 2 young ICRF-funded researchers were recipients of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Just to finish, I want to recognize and congratulate Cynthia Pearl, Cindy Pogren, and Marjorie Cohen, Zichron Livracha. Your combined 40 plus years of leadership and support has made a huge impact in ICRF. And I want to thank ICRF for this honor. I want to conclude by thanking my incredible wife, Corey. She is my advocate, protector, and rock. I love you. Dvorah, Sam, and Ben, I want to thank you for your love, support, and patience, and just for being you. And to my friends and family, I could not have gotten this far without your love, support, and patience. Thank you to my friends, and thank you to ICRF.
Congratulations, Bill. Our next Ribbon of Hope honoree is a magnificent woman, Marjorie Cohen. She's the creator of the Los Angeles chapter of ICRF, its inaugural Gala, and later, its executive director. She was truly a force of nature. Happened to be from my hometown of Trenton, New Jersey, which I don't hold against her. I'm kidding, I miss Trenton so much, and I hear she loved it. She was a remarkable woman. The sad thing is that last January, because of COVID, she passed away. But we are celebrating her life, her deeds, and her association with ICRF. So I'm going to tell you what people said about her. She was a remarkable spirit with an infectious zest for life, and she brought so much to all who knew her and loved her. ICRF says that her contributions to this organization are manifold. The years of successful galas, the millions of dollars raised, but they remember that it was her human touch, the sense of joy, and her sense of family that will be missed the most. And so we celebrate her life with this award, and we celebrate all that she has done for ICRF. The 2021 Ribbon of Hope in Memoriam is going to be presented by her children, Aaron and Kathleen.
Thank you, Richard, for hosting this evening, a fellow Trentonian.
You know, Kathleen, Mom used to say to me, what Trenton makes, the world takes.
Well, she did say that, but actually she'd tell me separately, Kathleen, what Trenton refuses, the world uses.
Thank you, ICRF, for this most cherished award. Our mother spent a lifetime fighting for this cause hand in hand with ICRF. ICRF is what she loved and proudly dedicated so many years to raising millions of dollars.
We wouldn't be able to do this fundraising, creating an amazing fellowship for a female doctor in Mom's honor, really without the help and guidance of Caitlin Schmedheiser. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for your drive and for your love of our mom. And we also have such deep gratitude to all of the host committee members. Thank you for dedicating your time to this cause and how much you adored our mom as well.
So 8 months ago this week, we lost our mom, Marjorie B. Cohen, to COVID. Right after she passed, I'll be honest, I was somewhat comforted by a quote that I heard from Don Lemon on CNN stating how COVID was a collective phenomenon that showed no discrimination in who it chose. It brought this entire planet together having similar stories and experiences. It was particularly fitting because it aligned with our mom's own values, embracing all kinds of people from all walks of life, as well as her commitment to cancer research in that cancer too does not discriminate.
Whether you sat at her dinner table or you received a phone call from her, she always made it clear that as a people, we're all connected. Our mom fought for people her entire life, and it's fitting that she transitioned with the same people she always fought for.
Mom has always been passionate about charitable contribution and nonprofit work. a past president of Children's Psychiatric Guild at County USC Hospital. She received the Guild's first Women of the Year award and had an honorary board seat as well for Circle of Friends fighting for abused children. Giving time to raise money for precious causes was her mission in life, but it was her connection to Irwin Weinstein as a mentor that truly inspired her. In 1987, Irwin Weinstein, who founded the LA chapter, considered Mom volunteer extraordinaire. So he asked her to run the office for a few weeks until a new director was chosen. Well, 15 years later, we watched her elevate the entire ICRF organization. She not only raised millions of dollars and awareness, but also created institutional events and groups ICRF still uses to this day. Having faced the wrath of cancer with her husband, our dad, and her best friend only proved that cancer research was meant to be her life's work. In describing Mom's commitment to ICRF, that could just take days. So we decided to give you some words and some phrases that best depict what Marjorie Cohen meant to ICRF. Visions.
Women of action.
Stuffing envelopes.
If you can give $10, you can give 100.
ICRF off to the races.
All the galas.
Ad journals.
The silent auctions.
Newsletters.
The phone calls.
Charing Cross Road.
All those volunteer luncheons.
Fellowships.
The Beverly Hills Hotel.
The Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
The Beverly Hilton Hotel.
And the Four Seasons Beverly Hills. But most of all, it was her gumption and tenacity to instill the notion in every person lucky enough to cross her path after she fed them and hugged them and heard their life story, that there is no gift too big or small, and we must eradicate this terrible disease by supporting Israeli doctors.
So our mom as a human being, without ever comparing any notes beforehand, both of us shared similar stories at her services. You opened up with Margie Cohen as a feeling. I shared Margie Cohen as an experience. Those sentiments resonated and even had a confirming ripple effect throughout our whole live feed that day. Everybody felt it. Charing Cross Road was more than we ever could have imagined growing up. It was more than a pin on somebody's old Hollywood star map because it was Cary Grant's former house. But Mom made it live immersive theater before it was even trendy, our whole life. Mom's energy, her hospitality, and her joy of life welcomed any and all people 24/7. The ICRF scientists who would gather for monthly salons all buttoned up in their formal suits at the end of the night, dancing in the foyer with the jukebox to old-time rock and roll, New York, New York, to Hit the Road Jack, personalizing this hard science at a human scale. Her essence shaped all of the annual galas with her electricity. Hiring the USC's marching band, she would parade throughout the gala right in the front. She recruited A-list talent who always resonated with the guests. She brought in the rabbis to make sure everything was kosher, and maybe herself stuck her finger in the cake and declared it kosher when needed too. At Mom's honoring of the Women of Action luncheon, her unmistakable passion overran her dedicated 10 minutes of speaking time to 30, maybe 35 minutes, but she hypnotized the audience with her purpose and ICRF's overall mission.
So on behalf of the entire Cohen family, we are so proud to establish this fellowship focusing on female research scientists in honor of our mom, Marjorie B. Cohen. We are truly dedicated to continuing the legacy our mom created.
She was a warrior and she was a champion for Israel Cancer Research Fund. Marjorie, our mom, her spirit is here tonight and will continue to live on within ICRF. We recognize all the other honorees and have tremendous gratitude to be among all family and friends joining this wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, this is Hank Azaria. I understand that ICRF is honoring my dear friend Richard Kind tonight, and I've been asked to say a few words, which I am very happy to do. This is a wonderful organization. They sent me over some bullet points, if I may be honest, and say that I'm reading a couple of things here. Number one, ICRF has awarded more than $78 million in funding for over 2,500 grants to hundreds of Israeli scientists who have conducted groundbreaking research. Number three, ICRF is the largest non-governmental funder of cancer research in Israel. Number 8 was impressive. ICRF's byline, the answer to cancer is research. Amen to that. I also like number 9. ICRF has funded the first Israelis to win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. I did not know that. That's amazing. But my favorite, I must admit, is item number 7. Richard Kind is the 2021 National Ribbons of Hope honoree. That is so wonderful. Richard, congratulations. You've always been one of my 7 favorite Jews. And with this award, you've now cracked the top 4. Top 4 Jews for me. But sometimes, honestly, God names people. Because Richard Kind is truly, really one of the kindest, most loving, most caring people that I know. And like most actors, the person that Richard loves the most is himself. So Richard, I'm going to make a dream come true for you. I'm going to congratulate you for this award as you.
So Richard, it's Richard. I just want to say you're wonderful. You really are wonderful. And the organization, ICRF, is wonderful. So what a lovely thing. You know, you get the honor of this award, and all the people there get the tremendous benefit of your presence. What a moment for them. What a win-win for everyone.
Congratulations, everybody. Keep up the great work. Take care.
Hi, I'm Stephen Weber. Tonight, ICRF is honoring Richard Kind, or as he's known throughout the medical and scientific community, who? Now, as his friend for many years, I can vouch for him as being, well, someone who is surely deserving of many such honors. All I really want to say is that Richard Kind is a great guy and a great Jew, and it's about time he was recognized as being something more than the butt of a joke. Congratulations, Richard.
Hello. You know, about a week ago, my friend Richard Kind phoned me up and said, "Guess what? I'm getting honored. I'm getting an award." And I said, "From whom?" ICRF. Tower of Power. The Tower of... I know it's not a great Richard Kind impersonation, but everyone who knows Richard Kind does Richard Kind. He has a very identifiable voice, but really the reason we all do Rich is because he's that beloved. He's that funny, and he's that warm and good-hearted. And he said, it's a great organization, ICRF. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of my friend Rich. I'm so honored to get to know your organization and learn a little bit about you. And thank you for all of the hard work you do. And thank you for honoring my friend. We love him. And I guess you do too. Boy, he sure is lucky that he met you guys. Congratulations, Rich. Not great. Hey, I'm no Hank Azaria. All right. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm back. There's still plenty of time to make your donation, remembering that each dollar raised supports the finest scientific research in the world as we continue to fund the brilliant scientists who will bring us the answers that we desperately need. Our next honoree, Cindy Pogren, recently stepped down as a board member of the Icrf Chicago chapter, where she served for 5 years helping grow the board's membership and establish board responsibilities. She also served as advisor to the Chicago Vision's Young Leadership Board and their flagship networking event. She is president of Paradigm Pursuits, an executive coaching and leadership firm based in Chicago, and likes to say her most successful startup is her marriage to her husband, David, and their 2 children. Cindy, I'm eternally grateful for your coaching and guidance during my tenure as Chicago board chair. You were the quiet but firm behind-the-scenes influence that helped drive our success. Please join me now in congratulating our 2021 Ribbon of Hope recipient, Cindy Pogren.
Thank you, David. It was such a privilege to work with you and the rest of the board in growing the Chicago office. I first heard the word cancer when I was just 9 years old and Aunt Lenore was sick. She lived with cancer for 20 years before dying way too young. My cousins Lisa and Adele, husband and wife, each survived cancer twice. The first time they were both in their early 40s. Cancer stripped me of the privilege of knowing my husband's grandmother and grandfather. My father-in-law Sherwin and my husband's great-grandma Ida both recovered from colon cancer. Aunt Sheila survived breast cancer. My friend Racheline lost her life at just 51 years old. And recently our friend's daughter lost her life at 49. My daughter-in-law's father, Yechiel, has multiple myeloma and is currently recovering from a stem cell transplant. And this list just goes on and on and on for all of us. That was my opening paragraph in an email I sent to family and friends sharing I had accepted this honor. A few minutes after sending that email, I heard that my friend Miriam was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. Supporting ICRF is one of the most impactful ways I know to stop receiving this type of unwanted news. And that's why I served on the Chicago Board of Directors, helping to grow our local chapter. And that's why I worked alongside our Young Leadership Visions Board to build the next generation of leaders. The first person I mentioned tonight was Aunt Lenore. Aunt Lenore's cancer started as breast cancer and eventually metastasized to her brain. She was such a special lady with tremendous grace and bravery who didn't allow her illness to define her. She taught me to be brave in both the significant way of how she lived with cancer and the less significant way when she convinced me to finally, as a little girl, go on that escalator. I've spent the majority of my career working in and with technology startups. Now, as an executive business coach, I sometimes use emotional intelligence assessments. One of the traits tested is something called reality testing. Basically, it's the ability to see a situation for what it is and not what you hope or fear it may be. I find many successful startup founders score low on reality testing, and that makes a lot of sense to me, as often they're developing a product or service that most people just say won't work. They have to set aside all of that, to set aside the reality as seen by most, to push through and create their product. I see Israel Cancer Research Fund scientists in the same vein. They work on ideas that most say won't work. They start with the basic science and ignore the skepticism to produce results that most think aren't possible, that lead to the drugs that may have saved Aunt Lenore and that, God willing, will enable Yechiel to live a long life. In the startup world, we refer to startups that achieve $1 billion valuation as unicorns. I consider the ICRF scientists the real unicorns. I accepted this honor in memory of Aunt Lenore and in tribute to Yechiel. I want to say a special thank you to David Abramson and the Chicago Board for selecting me for this honor, which allowed me the privilege to help raise much needed dollars for this impactful cause and to speak to all of you tonight. And to Allie Marks Greenfield, Sandy Rosen, and Michelle Sobel for leading the way in Chicago. I especially want to thank my favorite startup, my family. My husband, David, our children, Brian and Emily, who together with their amazing mergers to Hannah and Chaim, produced our first acquisitions in the form of our beautiful grandchildren, Kira and Eitan. These are the people who give me the strength, encouragement, space, and love to enable me to pursue my career dreams and give back to the community. They are my personal unicorns. I look forward to watching my grandchildren grow up knowing that the continued work of ICRF will help keep them from having lists like the one I read at the beginning of this speech. Thank you all so much for being here tonight.
Cindy, congratulations. And now, our final and fourth recipient of this year's Ribbon of Hope Award is, well, we're coming back east again. Cynthia Pearl hails from the ICRF in New York, where she has been actively involved for over 20 years and currently is serving as Secretary of ICRF International Board of Trustees and Board Co-Chair of the New York chapter. She's had a 30-year career as a marketing executive in the finance sector, and she's brought a lot of experience and commitment to the New York chapter and served as ICRF ambassador for 2 ICRF missions to Israel. She has a deep personal commitment to the work of ICRF, a dedication that can't be overestimated, and our gratitude for her work and dedication certainly cannot be overstated. We thank her so much. Join me now in congratulating Cynthia Pearl, who is our 2021 Ribbon of Hope honoree. Cynthia?
Richard, thank you for this very meaningful award, which I humbly and graciously accept. Thank you, your family, and your special friends who are with us tonight. Heartfelt thanks to everyone at ICRF, lay leadership, professional staff, our New York chapter board, my chapter co-chair, Lisa Ovid, and Ken Gable, New York Development Director, for the support and privilege of working with you. Congratulations to my fellow honorees. My father, a relatively quiet man by today's standards, delivered all-encompassing pearls of wisdom that guide my life. If you're able to do something for someone, he said, it's a sin not to. Doing something for someone means helping someone. Help is hope. Shockingly and tragically, within an 11-year period beginning in 1981, I lost two of my closest friends to cancer. The first passed away in what seemed like the blink of an eye. We learned a lot about cancer over the next 11 years, so much so that in 1992, my second friend knew enough to question, would new aggressive chemo treatments change my prognosis, but destroy my quality of life? Her brave fight was the same badge of courage and hope of every cancer patient then and now. In 2017, the Browse family, longtime supporters of ICRF, proposed to donate $1 million for a totally new and innovative topic, quality of life research. Our International Scientific Council jumped at the opportunity. It fit ICRF's model, namely creative, out-of-the-box thinking, timely, vital research with huge near-term potential for positive patient impact. No corporate scientific red tape involved. It was our council's decision to make, and make it they did by accepting the Browse family challenge. Months later, I listened as our scientific review panel of US and Canadian cancer investigators and oncologists rated 2 quality of life projects high enough to meet ICRF funding standards. This is my ICRF V for Victory hat. We wore it on ICRF's first Israel mission in 2015, celebrating our 40th anniversary. We met ICRF-funded scientists and their teams in their labs all over Israel and listened as they explained their research projects and their goals. We met with Israeli government officials who oversee Israel's R&D and healthcare. Research drives the development of new drugs and treatment protocols for all diseases. For cancer's countless variants, yes, astounding breakthroughs, victory within sight, but we are just not there yet. Today, 6 years after that mission, cancers previously coupled with imminent death prognoses are now treatable with reduced side effects. Many survivors are celebrating life's joyous moments together with family and friends. The relentless dedication of every one of our brilliant scientists to finding cures and more effective, less toxic treatments is indisputable. We keep their amazing work going. ICRF has been a tower of hope for over 46 years. Ribbons of Hope is our virtual emblem. At the end of every day, we all know that life is about who we are and what we do. I'm so very proud to be a part of ICRF's mission, process, and strong faith. Deep thanks to my many friends and all ICRF supporters for sharing this honor with me tonight. Please stay with us and enjoy the rest of our wonderful program.
Hey, Rich. Well, first of all, I'm sorry I couldn't be there tonight, and congratulations to the ICRF and all the important work that you all are doing. In general, whenever I talk about Richard, I try to find something rotten to say about him. For instance, I'm just glad that he's finally acknowledging that he's Jewish, because this whole I'm Norwegian thing no one really bought into. But in general, I want to say in a year that's been so lousy for all of us, the fact that you're honoring Richard Kind tonight is a real spot of light. He's a great man. He's a great friend. He cares about his fellow man, and he does something about it. I consider him a dear, dear, dear friend. I think he is a great friend to the world. And the fact that you're talking about him and honoring him tonight just tells me that you guys are all on the right track. Congratulations, Richard. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Okay, congratulations.
Hello to the Israeli Cancer Research Fund. I know you're honoring Richard Kind tonight, and I'm happy to present him with this award. I want to, first of all, say, being someone who's founded a research foundation, I respect the work that you do, and I think I don't know a lot of Hebrew, but I do know Tikkun Olam. I know that's what you're about. As far as Richard Kind goes, the first time I met Richard Kind, it was in Second City in Chicago. He was performing with the cast, and we had never met, but I was in the audience, and they called me up the audience to do some improv. And I thought it'd be funny to run up and leap into someone's arms. And so I chose Richard, and I leaped into his arms, and I gave him a heart attack. He was traumatized. He had PTSD about it. When he auditioned him for for Spin City, a few years later, he was hilarious, and my jaw dropped with how funny he was. But then he told me later he'd been traumatized by me when I jumped into his arms at Second City, and he'd never gotten over it. So if he still seems a little jittery, that's me. I did that 20 years ago. So anyway, Richard, I'm happy to present you with this award. You're a great guy. You're a great supporter of our foundation, and it's nice to see you spread the love.
This is what it looks like. Can you see it? I am very proud to have gotten this award tonight. And I laugh a little bit that I get such an award. I am honored. I will accept it because I'm really proud to be part of ICRF. However, I wake up in the morning and I try and be a good dad. I try and be a good actor. I try and be a good citizen of the world. And in doing so, helping out ICRF is just part of the package. And the only reason that I get this beautiful, beautiful award is because people know my name. People know my face. There are so many of you, honestly, who deserve an award like this, so much more than I do. I'm not being falsely humble. I do what I do. I'm going to tell you a funny story. My mom, I bought her a condo in a place called Ventnor, New Jersey, which is right next to Atlantic City. There were all these people, and I'm out on the beach one day, and I happened to have been introduced to somebody that I met who was a doctor, a cardiologist from Jefferson Memorial over at U of P, University of Pennsylvania Hospital. And we're talking, and we happen to be talking about golf. And I'm making moves that are obviously golf and how I'm coming on the inside, and we're comparing notes. And a guy walks down the beach, and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, dude, I love you on Curb Your Enthusiasm and on Spin City," and named a few other things. And I said, "Thank you very much." And he goes, "Listen, I'm the greenskeeper at such and such a country club here in town. If you ever want to play golf, just call me and I'll let you play." And I thanked him and I said, "But you want to know something? If you have heart disease, if you have a heart attack, if something goes wrong and you call me, the most I can do is maybe get you a reservation at a very popular restaurant. But if you call this guy, he will save your life." The only reason I got that invitation is because he knew who I was and I entertained him. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. but it's the guys we don't know. The guys who are faceless until we really need them that deserve these awards. People like you who are not seen by everybody, but help ICRF be successful, do the work that it needs to do, because this stuff doesn't come cheap. And to the scientists who we don't know, they're behind masks anyway. We don't know what they look like, but they are doing the hard work. I'm not saying I'm not honored, and I'm going to keep this, and it's beautiful, and my kids will still make fun of me, even though I am the Tower of Hope recipient. I still will get laughed at by my children, but everybody else may say, "Oh, Richard Kind, thank you for the work you do." It comes with the territory. Thank you so much for this award. I am honored. And when someday a doctor from ICRF makes a huge breakthrough, I will point to that doctor and tell my friends, I had a little bit to do with that. Okay? I'm going to tell you, I'll take a little bit of credit, but thank you to the doctors who do such great work. And thank you to the donors, to you. Thank you so much. That is how I'm going to end tonight's program. Thanking you, congratulating the honorees tonight, thanking the doctors, to our special guests, to the guys who did videos for me, but honestly, especially you. You are our generous audience around the world. You make it possible that ICRF not only exists, but does the great work that it does. Thank you so much, and good night.